Assalamu alaikum. I'm not gonna do too many ayahs, and the videos are gonna be shorter, because I prefer for the quality of the video to be good over the length of the video to be long. So yeah, and I don't want to overwhelm myself. Yeah. So today we're gonna do ayah 75 to 78. So last time we did number 74, the ayah about the rocks. So it said, even though their hearts became hardened like a rock or even harder, for some rocks gush rivers, others split, spilling water, while others are humbled in awe of Allah, and Allah is never unaware of what you do. So if we recall, this ayah is not talking about rocks. It's a metaphor, but for people and their hearts. So one type of person has iman, like a lot of iman, and their heart is very malleable. And when they see an ayah of the Quran, they feel things very easily. And we learned there is intellect. There's a difference between understanding with your intellect and understanding with your heart. So these people understand with their heart very quickly. And then there's a second type of person, they have less iman, and it's harder for them to feel. And then there's another type of person, they don't have any iman. They've submitted to Allah, but they don't have any iman yet. And then there's these people, the people who have hard hearts. They don't feel, basically. They're the type of people that see a man come back to life and then they don't feel anything, and they don't change their actions at all. So ayah number 75, I'm gonna do the translation with this. So Alif with Hamza, or even just Alif at the beginning of a sentence, it means a question. It's asking a question. And if you see here, the Alif is not connected to this word. So if it's not connected to the word, that means it's a question. So do fatad maroon. So over here, wow noon. When you see wow noon at the end of a word, that means plural. It's multiple. It's plural. More than two. So
Bani.
If you hope, fatad maroon, if you hope, and that yu'minun, they will believe, lakum, you, wa, and qad, indeed. So here's another important word. Let's see. Wow. Wow. It means and. It comes like a lot in the Quran. So Alif, this one, it comes a lot. This comes a lot. This one also comes a lot. Wow means and. Kana, there has been. Fariqum minhum. A party. A party. Oh yeah, a party of them. Okay, so a group of them. who yusmarun here kalama words. Kalama means the words, but it's not just the words. Like the translation, it says words, but it's more than that. It's the word that has an effect on you. So, the people who where rivers gush out of them, when they hear the words, well, it has an effect on them, right? So we adjust that. Allahi, the words of Allah. So when they hear the words of Allah, thumma, then yuharrifun. Yuharrifun, it means to first understand, then to distort, and then to twist. So they hear the words of Allah and then they twist it. So this ayah, it's talking to the Muslims during Medina. So it says, do you desire that Bani Isreal believe the way that you believe? So that they believe your religion. And it's like, it's asking them. So it's Allah is asking them. So the Bani Israel, like they made what's his name, Musa alayhi salam's his life so hard, and asked him so many questions and all that. So Allah is asking, like, do you have hope that they'll believe what you believe, even though they distorted like the words of Allah after they understood it? So here's another thing. In Medina, there were Jews and the Arabs. They used to fight a lot, and the Jews would say, the Prophet will come, and then like we'll win our arguments, and we'll we'll dominate you, we'll control you. So, and then when Muhammad came back, when he came to Medina, the Arabs, because Bani Israel would say this so much, they believed that Muhammad was the Prophet, like immediately. And they like befriended him because the Jews were like, oh, we're gonna win when the Prophet comes. So the Arabs befriended him because, hey, I want to be on the winning side, right? But the Bani Israel, they didn't believe. They denied that that Muhammad was the last prophet. And the reason was because that he wasn't from Bani Israel. They had like this pride where they didn't believe, like so many prophets came from Bani Israel's lineage, and they were like, okay, so they had like their ego, right? They didn't want to accept that Muhammad was the prophet because he didn't come from their tribe. Okay, so in Bani Israel, the Jews, there were two groups of people. So one group was the scholars. Those were the people who studied the Torah and everything. And then the other group were the normal civilians. They didn't study it. The scholars would tell the civilians what was in the Torah and like what to do. So, and only the scholars could study the Torah. But what they did was min from ba'di, after, ma what, عقلوا عقلوه. So عقل, it means understand, like with your intellect, right? To understand with your intellect. وهم, and hum, they, يعلمون. No, now this word.
يعلمون.
Yes, thank you. يعلمون, this one's an important word. It comes a lot in the next couple of ayahs. It means know, to know something. So what the scholars did was they would twist the words, like, even though they knew what was true. So, okay. So they understood, and then, like, they twisted. So Muslims do this too, believe it or not. I mean, like, these ayahs about the Bani Isreal and the mistakes they made, it's not like, it's not to judge them or to hate them or whatever. It's not to look down on them, because, like, obviously the Quran says we're not supposed to look down on anyone else, or we're supposed to treat everyone equally, even if they don't follow the same religion as us, or if they're like different color, or they're from a different country. So we do this too. So why are these ayahs about Bani Israel even in here? Like, what are we supposed to do with them? Like, and we're supposed to learn from them, of course, right? So how Muslims do this? We do two things. We change the implication of what an ayah means, and we change, like, the meanings, right? So, for example, the Quran says, "Don't go close to salah when you're drunk." So a lot of people use this as, like, they say, "Oh, we're allowed to drink, but just we're not allowed to be drunk while we're praying." So, like, oh, I can pray after. Sorry, I can drink after I've prayed Isha. But that's not true. So if you've done the Sirah, you'll know that these ayahs came to the Makkans so that, like, the Makkans could taper off of alcohol. So first ayah came was I think, wait, so okay, so there were 3 ayahs that came. The last one said you can't drink at all. Another one said, the one that came before that said that you can't go close to salah when you're drunk. There was another one, but I can't remember what it is right now. So people twist the meanings. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. All right, ayah number 76. Wow, whoops. Wow, God. And, that means and. Either. This is another important word. It means, they. I think it means they. When. Yeah, when. Sorry, it means when. لقوا الذين. Ladina is those. Sorry, الذين is those who. This is another very important word.
الذين.
Thank you again, sir. الذين is those who. Lakum is they meet. Amanu believed. So when the people who believed, they met. Qalu, they say. Here's another important word. You should take notes because you're not going to be able to remember all of this. Qaf and alif. When they come together, it means say. So the root letters of qalu, of say, is qaf and lam. Qalu, they say. Amana, we believed. And when, again. Idha, again, like what idha. And when, over here, it comes again. Wa and idha, when. Khala, they meet in private. Barduhum, some of them with bardin, some others. Qalu, again, here it comes. They say. Atuhaddithunahu, do you tell them bima what? Fatahallahu, has alaykum, has, and then Allah alaykum, to you, lihahukum, so that they agree with you. Rida, before Rabbikum, your Lord, in front of your Lord. This is like in front is like it's easier to understand. Your Lord. So Rabbikum. So here, these are like two really important words, especially Okay, so Rab, it means owner, but it's usually used for Allah because like Allah owns all of us, right? So Rab, he is our Rab. Kum is you. Kum is you. Your Lord. Afala ta'qilun. Then do you not understand? Okay, so let's understand what this means. So we're told in this ayah, number 75, that one of the reasons that the Muslims shouldn't be so hopeful that Bani Isreal believe them is that they change the words in the Quran. Sorry, not in the Quran, in the Torah, and the meanings when they've already understood what they mean. In this ayah, number 76, it's giving us another reason. Okay, so the reason is that there were hypocrites, right? So the Yahud is another word for Jews, but like the ones in Medina. So what happened was the Yahud they became Muslim, and then they changed to munafiqeen like right away. Munafiqeen means hypocrite. So the Yahud, they would sit with Muhammad, they would go to the mosque and hear him speak, and they would say, "Oh, like you're right, you the signs that you are the prophet, they're in the Torah." And then when they went to the scholars, this is what they said. They said, "Are you giving them proof that we believe, so that they can tell Allah, like during the day of judgment, right?" So that they were like, "Oh, don't do that. You're giving them proof, and then that we believe that he is the prophet." And then ayah number 77. Okay, so again comes the word alif hamza. So that's a question. Wow, it means and then la, like most people know this, la means no. And do not. Ya'lamun, they know. Here comes this word again. Ya'lamun, okay? Oh my god. It means no, remember? And wow, noon, it's plural. So it's talking about multiple people knowing. Multiple people knowing something. And Allahu, that Allah, and Allah, that Allah, ya'lamu, again knows. It's the same word, ya'lamu, knows. Ma means what. Yusirun, they conceal. Wow, and ma, what. Yu'linun, what you reveal. So it's saying Allah knows what you conceal and what you reveal. So he knows what you're thinking. He knows what you present to other people. So he's like, oh, who do you think you're tricking by saying this? Like he knows that you know that these signs are in the Torah. Just saying it doesn't. It's just not saying it doesn't isn't proof that you don't know. He has the proof because he knows what you're thinking. So like this can be applied to us as well. So here's an example. Let's say you're working and it's time for Maghrib, and like you know it's time for Maghrib, and then you like make an excuse to yourself, like you try to deceive yourself. You're like, oh well, I'm working right now. I don't know what the time is. Like we do this too. Okay, here's the last ayah. Wow, wow, and minhum, among them, ummiyun, unlettered ones. So this is illiterate ones. Like unlettered is confusing. Yeah, illiterate. Okay, good. The illiterate ones, la, not. Remember, la means not. Ya'lamun, again, no. يعلمون الكتاب. Kitab is pretty easy again. Like for thank you again. This guy's so helpful. Like whenever I need to, whenever I say the word, he just says it for me. Like he's right there for me. So they know the book. Here's another important word. I'm not sure if I did this already. Illa, except. It means except. Okay, except. Amaniya. So this is an important word. For this ayah, it means wishful thinking. So actually, let's start at the beginning. This word, minhum. Or is it? No, God. This one. Ummiyun. Ummi. It's somebody who doesn't have formal education of the book. So like for us, for example, Muslims, we're confused about a lot of things. So we don't know how to use our money, like how much goes to charity and how much we keep. A lot of people don't even know the translation of the Salah. They just say the words of the Arabic words and they don't know what they're saying. And like who we should make friends with. So the scholars here, amaniya, it means false hopes, right? Like guessing something, you know. So the scholars, they were just hoping that what they were saying was right. So and sorry, they created false realities in their head about what is true, right? So scholars, they would tell people what they should do in order to go to Jannah. Like for example, our scholars, they tell us, oh, if you read this a thousand times every day, you'll go to Jannah. Or they'll tell you you should read the entire Quran multiple times and then you'll go to Jannah. But there's no proof for it, you know? So we're just guessing. We're just guessing that it's true. That reading the Quran multiple times will take you to Jannah, but it's not like there's no actual proof for it. So, like not most of, like a lot of the companions, they didn't read the Quran multiple times. They read it like once, and that was fine, right? And even like we hope that it's true, and like we don't even know what the Quran is saying, so we don't really try, right? And then what also happens is if you don't do these things, like people will say you're a bad Muslim, like, and they don't know either. And if you ask them, oh, what's the proof? What's the proof that that this will take you to Jannah? Like doing this will take you to Jannah? They'll just say, oh, some scholar said this, or my mom told me to do this. But like the real proof is that Muhammad said to do it. But Muhammad didn't say to do it, right? He didn't say reading the Quran multiple times will take you to Jannah. So the scholars of Bani Isreal, they did the same. Amaniya, they lived on their false hopes. Okay. Wa, remember was and, in, not, hum, they. That's another important word. Let's see if you'll say it for us.
Hum.
Thank you. Oh my god. Hum, they. Illa, again.
Illa.
Except. Yadunun. This is another word I'll go into. So this translation, it says guess. That's not true. There are two meanings. There's like a good meaning and there's a bad meaning. So yadunun, it's a statement or a thought based on an observation. So the first way of using this word is if a statement is right, then it's knowledge. And the second one is if it's wrong, then it's an assumption. So these people, they're making assumptions about their deen. They don't actually know. So the civilians, remember there were two people. There were the scholars and there were the civilians. So they only did what the scholars told them to do. And the reason was because they didn't understand what like the language was. Like for us, for example, a lot of people, they just blindly follow scholars because we don't, our excuse is that we don't know what the Quran means. We don't know Arabic. So what happened was, because of this, and because the scholars concealed so much, they like changed so much, there were only a few concepts left, which they followed. Like they would only take a few concepts. Like we see this today as well with the Taliban. They only use the Sharia law, and even in the Sharia law, they only take parts of the law, right? A lot of Muslim countries do this as well. They go heavily, and a lot of Muslim groups, they go heavily on, they put heavy emphasis on a few parts of what Islam is and what the Quran says, and they like distort it, you know? So yeah. So let's ask ourselves why Bani Israel didn't study the book. It's because they were chasing the dunya. So a lot of people, they know things, right? Like we spend a lot of time in school we spend a lot of time. A lot of people spend a lot of time in university getting their masters and their like BAs and their bachelors. Oh wait, that's the same thing. um, and what they're doing there is they're looking for knowledge, but for dunya, for this real world, and then they sacrifice the knowledge for their deen. But like that's not good, because we're only gonna be here for so long. What we should prioritize deen. So like for example, a lot of the times when we're doing work, we skip salah, right? Because we put our deen over we put our dunya, the real life, over our deen, our way of life. So yeah, now we kind of made it hard for ourselves. Or maybe it's not really our fault in like the Western countries. So we have school for dunya stuff, and then we have a school for like Islam stuff. I guess for us, it's not really our fault because first there were the schools for dunya, and then the Muslims came, and then we had to make our own schools. So we should prioritize learning deen some more over the dunya, because that's what's important, because we're not going to be here forever. We're going to need to prepare ourselves for the afterlife and for the day of judgment. And not only do we have to study our deen, we also have to teach it. We have to teach it to other people. And obviously there's a lot of reward in that. Okay. We're done now. So make sure, please subscribe. We need to get to up to 1,000 subscribers to get our videos monetized. And like that is important. Like in order for us to carry on more projects and get our message out there and teach more people, we need the money, so subscribe, please like it. I guess if you have suggestions for what kind of videos you want us to make and like what you want to learn, do comment and share the videos to people. Yeah. Okay. Make sure to follow our TikTok and our Instagram. So the TikTok is at real_Islam_Sunnah with an H. Camps with an S. Okay, remember that. And then the Instagram is just at sunnah.camp without the S. Okay, so make sure to go follow those. We post a lot on the Instagram, and we will post more on the TikTok. Assalamu alaikum.